So, if you have been living under a rock and you do not know by now, the world is moving towards AI. If you are going to be one of those people like, oh, technology bad, AI bad, I don't want to, I don't want AI in my life, then you will be left behind and we will not feel sorry for you. You have to use all the tools to your disposal so that you can level up, you can win, right? Now, a big component of AI is large language models. They pretty much power it, they back it. So that's what we're going to be talking about today. It's going to be we're going to be talking about that because we are learning about we're working towards or through a course on large language models in the morning shows, Mondays and Wednesdays, might add an additional day every now and then, but learning more about large language models, prompt engineering, AI, so that we can be well-rounded, well-versed, and see how can we implement some of this stuff into our workflows. So that's what I want to talk to you about today. I want to give you a general overview, and then in the coming weeks, we can go a little bit more in depth on large language models, so that we can, like as we're going through the course, do some breakdowns to have a better understanding. All right. So welcome to the episode of Software Explorations, Concept and Overviews, hosted by yours truly, the one, the only Tech Coach Ralph, where we are engineered to win. Nothing but winning, all right? So, like I said, large language models, prompt engineering, AI, agents, all that good stuff. Let's jump into it. Let's get to it. So, like I said, our topic for today, large language models, prompt engineering, AI, and agents, right? So, all of that is wrapped under large language models. Let's get started. Our agenda for today, we're going to be going over having a brief introduction to large language models. We're going to talk about the core capabilities, the key applications that use it. What are some of the advantages of large language models? What are some of the challenges that people face in large language models? And how does the future look? What does the future hold for large language models, LLMs, AIs, all that good stuff, right? So, and as I said, in the coming weeks, we're going to dive a lot deeper into the different things that we're learning, but we just want to get a general overview. If you are interested in learning this with us, the link for the course that I'm going through is in the description. It's pinned to the top of the chat. And sign up and join me. You can watch the morning shows on replay and follow along so that you can see what we're doing, what are the challenges that we have, how do we overcome them, all that good stuff, right? So let's get to it. So intro to LLMs, large language models. We're going to talk about what are they, what are the key technologies, and the evolution of LLMs. So the definition of a large language model, they are advanced artificial intelligence, so advanced AI, systems trained on vast amounts of text data to understand, generate, and manipulate human language, right? When I say at like large, vast amounts of text data, when we did our first episode on the first of the year, like going through large language models, the 3.2 version of Olama was 20 gigs. I tried to download the 3.3 version and it was 42 gigs. So, and if you think text data is not that big. So for 20 gigs of text data, for 42 gigs of text data, that is a lot of information. And if you think about the online large language models like OpenAI and ChatGPT, Claude, whatever the one that Bing uses or Microsoft, I don't remember that's not, I don't, whatever. Don't quote me on that. But whatever large language models there are that are online and they're getting data way bigger than the 20 gigs or the 42 gigs of the Olama one that we looked at the other day. Okay. So with that being said, BART is the one I was thinking about. BART. Claude, BART, and what is Gemini, right? So Cloud, BART, Gemini, all of those large language models. They're huge, they're massive. For the Olama one that I had locally, that's small. 20 gigs, 42 gigs is small compared to the ones that are online, all right? So key technologies for large language models. They're built using deep learning techniques, primarily using architectures like transformers. And the examples, like I said, BART, GPT, etc. The evolution of large language models, LLMs, the field has evolved from rule-based systems to machine learning approaches and now to sophisticated LLMs capable of nuanced understanding and generation. I'm going to make a Patreon video of all the different ways that I integrate AI into my workflow, from my AI assistant, from the AI clone that I had created last year, from getting descriptions, creating thumbnails, you know, AI music. If you haven't heard the album yet, check out Victory and from Tech Coach Ralph in all major streaming platforms. But all of that stuff is using AI, pushing the technology to the limit. You guys have probably seen Sora generating video on the fly. So many different ways to use AI, and it's from where it started about 2 or 3 years ago to where it's at now. It is absolutely incredible. For some people, it is scary, but for me, it is a blessing in disguise. The core capabilities of large language models: we have the natural language understanding, NLU, grasping the meaning and context of text, right? Then we have the natural language generation, NLG, producing coherent and contextually appropriate text. So understanding what you're talking about, the NLU, natural language understanding, and then taking that and providing a coherent response that is applicable to what you're asking it for. And I mean, I'm sure if somebody's watching who hasn't used ChatGPT yet, then I don't know what you've been doing. But you can see how when you put in a prompt, a question to ChatGPT, how it will respond in a pretty accurate way based on the data that it has. The other thing is contextual adaptation, tailoring responses based on user input and conversation history. So basically, based on the things that you have prompted in the past and what you have fed it, it is going to adapt its responses and tailor its responses based on that. Multilingual support, handling multiple languages and translations tasks. Few shot and zero shot learning, performing tasks with minimal or no additional training. All right, so those are some of the core capabilities of large language models, and you can create your own large language model, feed it the data that you want it to learn from, and you can go from there. So what are the key applications that use AI and large language models? So number one, because I use so much AI in my content creation, from ideas of presentations and outlines and description, like story, video descriptions, generating thumbnails, so many different things that I use in content creation that makes my workflow so much easier. If I had to do all this stuff manually, I probably just wouldn't do most of them, right? But AI makes it possible because I get to focus on the important stuff and I let AI take care of the menial stuff that they add value, but only to a certain extent, right? Customer support, now we have chatbots that are able to interact with customers so that it's able to reduce the number of actual customer support agents. And when you call a company, right, and you get the chatbot that is answering you, and it tells you, oh, say your phone number and say your account number and stuff like that. Oh, you must be so and so. That is some form of a LLM, and they're getting better because now they're going to make it where these can support you, can pretty much handle the whole interaction with you. We have language translation where we're using LLMs to one-to-one translations, and as well as knowing that the context to put it in as well. Knowing, okay, some languages, they have like many different ways, and they have the feminine version and the masculine version of a word, and how to properly structure that. Use in education, I'm sure there's AI teachers that will help, be an assistant. Maybe AI to help with homework and guidance and like that. Programming assistant, that's you've heard of Claude, you've heard of Copilot and stuff like that, to help you be a better programmer, a better coder. But although sometimes it can work in the opposite effect, where it pretty much makes you a useless programmer or developer, right? Data analysis, building ways to analyze data, to scrape through the data, to separate what's valid, what's not valid, where it reduces so much time. And a lot of people, they get like, oh my God, we're gonna lose our job because of AI. I think though, if you apply it correctly, it actually opens more opportunities. And now what used to be a business that you had a business idea that one like that you would probably need 10 people to do it, you might be able to get it done with just you and the help of AI. So I think AI is going to add a lot more value into the world to people who actually want to get out there and work. Those who don't, AI is going to replace them. Those who want to do, then they have a tool, they have an assistant that to be right there by them sides to not call in sick and stuff like that. So it's there's a lot that's possible. So, what are some of the advantages of using large language models? So scalable, right? It can handle a vast amount of data efficiently, as we've seen. It's versatile, applicable to diverse domains and industries. So, one thing that we do on our Saturday morning show when we're going through the different economic indicators, we'll say, all right, how would this economic data? So, how would the consumer price index affect somebody who is a software engineer, for example? And we implemented using ChatGPT or using OpenAI into the application using the APIs, so that we can say we just pass in a job role, and it's going to give a relevant example of how this economic indicator, such as the consumer price index, would affect the software engineer, and whatever it's like, whatever almost any role that we give it, it's able to find some type of comparison. So that's really cool. The other advantage is efficiency. Automates repetitive and time-consuming tasks. Like I said, I use it for a lot of my descriptions, my thumbnails. I say, hey, I need a thumbnail that looks like this because I am not an artist whatsoever. I need a thumbnail that looks like this. It gives me the thumbnail. I add my text to it, and now if I had to create these thumbnails from scratch, where it could take me about 20, 30 minutes per thumbnail. Now I'm getting like 5 thumbnails in like 15 minutes, right? And I'm ready to go. Same thing with my description. It give me a long, nice video description. And if I had to write it out, I wouldn't write it as well, and it would take me so much longer. So I'm just zooming through, and I do not need to hire a bunch of people. Enhanced accessibility. It improves access to knowledge through user-friendly interaction. So, and you can, like, something I've done before. I'm like, hey, can you explain this to me on an 8th grade level? And then it breaks it down to me like I'm an 8th grader, because some concepts you don't really understand them because you never had exposure to them. So we might be on a college level in finance, but we are on a 2nd or 3rd grade level in how to build a computer. So it has to explain to us in baby steps. So and that's what AI is capable of doing for you. So what are some of the challenges that you'll face with large language models? So there's bias and fairness. One thing that I noticed one time with my thumbnail like with the photo generation, right? I would say I need a picture of this type, like this demographic of person, doing so and so, and it was like for a certain type of person, they would always have this particular type of hair. For another type of person, they would always have like this different type of hair. And I'm like, why? Like, why is the hair the central focus? Like, why can't you have like, and so that was something that I was thinking about, right? Another challenge would be data privacy, not having your LLM locked down, and you can be working for an industry where you're implementing a large language model that it has to be secure. So there's a huge component right now of cybersecurity that is going to be needed in the large language models, creating agents and stuff like that. It is very, very resource intensive. So all the challenges, though, they are opportunity to me. They are opportunities for working conditions. So the being at resource intensive, there's going to be more data centers being built because as more large language models get deployed, AI gets deployed, agents get deployed, they're going to take a huge amount of consumption and space. So data centers need to be set up. So there's going to be construction available. There's going to be networking the data centers so that these large language models can be running. And then, as in everything else, there's potential for misuse. Not a surprise, but that is another importance of cybersecurity, and like setting standards around the right. Everything can be misused, right? But I think that the the good outweighs the bad, and we need to mitigate for the misuse, and we go from there. So what does the future hold for AI? So there's improved personalization where it can get and when I say improved personalization, just maybe 4 to 6 months ago, I created a AI clone where it learned all about the things that I talk about by reading this YouTube channel, reading learning my website, learning my other website, and then when I would test it out on some of our Q&A shows on Tuesday night, and it would answer like the way that I would answer stuff. It was and it was even a little bit nicer than me, believe it or not, because I know I'm the nicest person that you ever met, but it was sometimes even a little bit nicer than me, right? The integration with other technologies is something that is also going to be coming. Like I have one of those robots where it mops and vacuum, and that has AI integrated in it, where it can detect when there's a cord, it can detect when there is something in the way. Like I have literally seen, because it has a camera on it and everything, I've literally seen this robot coming towards me, stop, turn, go around me, and to go back to wherever it's trying to go. So there is like it, and I can only see, like, now we see the human droids robots coming out. Those are going to have AI in there, so you can ask it a question, it can give you an answer. So imagine now you have one of those humanoid robots, and your kid is doing, like, your kid needs to study for a spelling test, and the robot knows what words are going to be on the test, and it's asking your kid to spell this word to get a definition, telling them if they're right or wrong and stuff like that, right? So it's definitely coming. Efficiency enhancements to make them faster, less resource intensive, less resource hog. How can we reduce the footprint so that in the effort to reduce this footprint, we're not really going to reduce, we're going to expand it, but it's going to be able to handle a lot more powerful, right? Then ethical AI developments, thinking about how to safeguard certain things in AI, like like we were talking about the biases and stuff like that. Figuring all that stuff out, but I think that as we see the growth of AI and the path that it's going on, there's only promising times ahead. So in conclusion, we talked about we introduced what it is. We define AI. We spoke about not AI but the large language models. So we spoke about the core capabilities of the large language models, how the key what applications use them in particular, the advantages of large language models, the challenges that they face, and then the future direction of it. So that's basically it. Let me know what you think. Leave me a comment. Ask me a question. Definitely sign up for the course. Join us in the morning, or watch it on replay. Leave me a comment on those videos if to let me know how it's going. If you have a question, all that good stuff. But definitely join me. And let's win. Let's learn together. We can run it up. All right. I'm going back to full screen now, and we're gonna wrap up the show. Hopefully this gave you a little bit of exposure into the direction that tech is going and how you can play a role. I can't stress enough. Do not be afraid of technology. Do not be afraid of AI. Do not be afraid of growing, because guess what? No one will care. You will get left behind, and it is important that you move with the trends, because if you are the person who is working at the restaurant and you're like, oh, I want to protest, I'm going to strike because I'm not getting paid whatever I want to get paid. Well, you know what? At some point, then the robots will come and do it. So I say, don't be the person who is fighting the robot. Be the person who is controlling the robot. All right, that's my message to you on our way out. But that's it for today. Do me a big favor as we get out of here. Like the video, share the video, subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so already. Hit the notification bell so you know every time we go live and drop new content. And work with me one-on-one. Go to techcoach.dev. I have very, very limited spots available, and I'm pretty sure that people are going to be signing up soon. So don't get left out. I have very limited spots in the top tier. I have some spots left I have a good amount of spots left in the middle tier if you want to figure that out. But if you just want exclusive content that you will not find anywhere else on the internet on this tech stuff, then go to techcoach.dev. Sign up today. Let's win together. You don't have to do it alone. All right. But with that being said, I'm out of here. You guys have a wonderful, wonderful rest of your week. Take a drive. We are out.
We slanging massive code. We slanging massive code. We slanging massive code. Learned the code while the city slept tight. Now I'm slinging lines that spark like late night. From Python webs to TypeScript skies. React in my veins and APIs that rise. Keyboard clacking, I'm stacking gold. Syntax flows like stories untold. Drinking caffeine, I'm breathing in cold from morning dawn till the night unfolds.
My code goes long, my code goes deep. Caught in the stream where the data don't sleep. Need my digits, better call my line. Slanging massive code like a story time.
In the hustle jungle where the bytes meet still. Digital canvas where I paint and fill. JavaScript whispers in the code I weave. Tech dreams blossom in the lines I conceive. Lines so slick they can't be caught. Variables twist in every plot. Python powers every thought. JavaScript legit, hitting the right spot. My code goes long,
my code goes deep. Caught in the stream where the data don't sleep. Need my digits, better call my line. Slinging massive code like a story time.
Stacks on stacks build my empire tall. Debugging dreams where the errors fall. Lines of brilliance break the darkest night. Script so dope you can see me in the light. TypeScript magic on my fingertips. Reacts to canvas where logic flips. API dances syncing clips. My code's a song where data drips.
My code goes long, my code goes deep. Caught in the stream where the data don't sleep. Need my